Hi, I'm Allison Rose with FlickDirect. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Allison. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So this film is in New Orleans and you're from New Orleans. So how different was that for you?
Um, I'm from Baton Rouge initially,
Oh,
like
sorry.
I grew up the road, but um, no, I've been in New Orleans pretty heavily the last 10 years. It was really interesting to see some of the narratives that like are everyday to us kind of be brought to, national and possibly even an international like scale for people to be able to see and hear about the things that are still going on in the city because of the things that have happened. It was cool. It was like, whoa, they're letting us play in our backyard and we get to actually be here. Let's go. So
Yeah, I can relate because I grew up in New Jersey, spent a
mhm.
lot of time in Manhattan. So to see somebody who's never been to Manhattan before
Right.
is yeah, it's pretty incredible. Like you have a different view of it than they do. So
Right.
yeah, that's fun. All right, let's talk about your character.
Yes.
He's kind of the muscle in the beginning of this whole thing.
That. Thank you. I'm just. Yeah,
But there's more to him.
definitely.
Yeah.
I enjoyed like as far as like in my personal life and my friend group, I'm definitely always like the listening, the protector, like big brother. That's kind of how I felt this role. Aside from the fact, obviously, that a romantic interest was what brought me into, or kept me, kept Chris in the picture. But no, there's a community aspect. We look out for each other down here. Hurricane Ida just passed. Like people are out in each other's yards, helping each other out, making sure that people are situated, safe, and have food. And so I really related to that aspect of it. Like that is how we take care of each other down here. And I enjoyed the fact that I was grateful that the character didn't just stay how he was at the party. That I was, we were able to kind of grow through things, go through things. That's how people get things out. They talk through it and figure it out. So it was cool to have an opportunity to real time do that with the character.
Yeah, and Fabrizio mentioned that you all became close, you still talk, and you kind of look out for each other. And you, in a sense, went through something because shooting was shut down because of the pandemic for a while. So tell me about those connections and how they translated on screen for you.
First and foremost, like all that synergy is real. Before the pandemic really popped off, we had an opportunity to be down here together during Mardi Gras, really take in the essence
Ah,
of the city. And like not only that, but like we all, individual friendships with one another, different reasons that we're tight. So it made it easy to translate that over to screen. As soon as we would get done doing some really intense work and then turn around, we'd be laughing and cracking jokes. We were able to keep each other's energy and spirits high. There's a lot of youth in the room. There are a lot of people I think people are going to be seeing for a while. And so that's in terms of looking out for each other. That's definitely an aspect of it too. Like I wish the best for everyone that I just worked with. Well, they're great, and I know it personally. I watched 5 weeks of everyone getting to put their work together for this. The pandemic, that part was weird. We were all able to touch and like we kind of got gelled back when we started the second half of shooting. So you know
well,
that
I
made it
agree with
easy.
you. Yeah, I'm sure it did. Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree with you about the cast, young, but really talented. And I think your synergy did work really well on screen. Um, what was it like in terms of, if you had to be antagonistic to someone, like in the beginning, you
uh,
weren't so nice at that party.
right.
So,
I mean,
how did that work for you?
I will say, like, I mean, for one, I don't mind going to necessarily like darker, scarier places,
Hmm.
and this was like not even into it. It's just these are awkward situations that happen as a teenager, and boys can definitely be not the young they necessarily need to be. We're not always nice whenever we're younger and we're figuring out those teenage emotions. So yeah, that part of it I related to and was, I was like, all right, cool. I'm glad that there's definitely a redemption arc, and he's, Chris doesn't run his girl away. So that was, getting an opportunity to work with the fact made all of that a little bit easier for me because we just made it into jokes. Ultimately, like I said, the intense scenes like we're cackling our tails off in between takes. So
Good, it
like,
relieves some of the tension.
yeah.
So, in the middle of this horror, vampire, whatever, there is this little love story going on there. Was
Yeah.
that something that you wanted to have happen? Did you like that arc, or were you like, kind of stereotypical? Or
I like the arc just because I believe that in the middle of all that, people bond over things. I don't,
Mhm.
necessarily always know that killing vampires together equals a love story, but I know that it happened this one and it fit. Because the story does go into themes of self-esteem and like working through like people's perception of beauty, and I think that in real life those things can change and be kind of people start to figure out what they really want or what they're really into, and so I'm glad that Chris was able to like, hey bro, she's great, you know. Like the light bulb came on. He was like, "Yo, she's like out here killing vampires, and none of this was a lie." Like, you know what I'm saying? It's those are all things that, like, when handled truthfully, they do bring you into people. So,
Yeah, definitely. I
mhm.
definitely, I believe it didn't necessarily detract from the movie. Um, the little love interest that went
Yeah.
on.
I mean, we're teenagers, good looking teenagers. Yeah. You know, nobody said that it was like, we're not going to series with the romance necessarily, but
Right.
it's not one that doesn't make sense, and I agree with that. And that
Right.
part of it didn't feel forced or like we were trying to do anything. No, me and Asjha have a good working relationship, so we were cool with everything.
So, what would you like people to take away most from this movie? Because it really is a vampire in New Orleans story, which, is not earth shattering,
Right. I think that just like everybody's gonna have to decide individually what they would like to take from. There are a lot of themes, a lot of layers to this film besides just the
Mm,
vampire aspect, besides just the New Orleans aspect of it. Um, just like general compassion for people and self-esteem, and like how
yeah.
these interactions we have with one another ultimately do send people on their way. And while everyone is ultimately responsible for the path that they take and what they do, like we can't deny the effects of like what have done to one another. And that, you're seeing the effects of that. And this film didn't, I don't think it missed an opportunity to remind people that, like, yeah, still things and struggles going on, and it's, we need to be kinder to one another. We need to not give each other a hard time about stuff that, quite frankly, is, they're life altering situations that have happened in this city.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think we all need a lot of that compassion and
especially right now
kindness.
with what's going on in
Yeah.
the world, like,
Yeah.
we've all been locked away on Zoom for a while. Everybody's been inside. Like, people haven't been interacting with people. People kind of, what that's like and what is required in those situations sometimes. And it's understandable because we are living in a very and mostly unprecedented time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it is definitely good that there are a lot of different talking points in this film. If anyone takes anything away from it besides just being entertained, besides the laughs, besides the jumps and the scares, then whatever lesson away from it, I hope they're the ones that people needed to hear.
All right. Well, good. Last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on vampires?
My thoughts on vampires. I hope they're not real after shooting that. Oh God, I like definitely scenes with the scenes with Al. Whenever like the first couple takes of us doing those stunts, I'm like, yo, claws are really like kind of heavy. The teeth, like the spit, is all really in my face. Like, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah. I hope nobody's out here turning people into vampires because, yeah, that's another pandemic.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But no, it was
I was gonna say it might be cool to live forever. Maybe
I
not.
mean, yeah, maybe it might be kind of cool. I mean, honestly, I don't. I think the aesthetic was tight. I think like if my eyes look like that all the time, I would, I would probably get whatever I wanted. So that's probably a good thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I enjoyed like not only aesthetically, but like as far as the rules go, I liked this version of them because I do believe it was in a different direction than before. So even if like the whole vampire genre as a whole, like you still have to play by the rules, but they played by their own set of rules in this one. So
Yeah, they did. Well, thank you so much for your time. October 1st, Amazon Prime. Can't wait to get people's reactions to the movie.
thank you, Allison.